four-piece warriors, hope everybody's doing good and having a lot of fun playing and working on some of the things we've been talking about in recent videos. Today we're going to do what I call my four-piece warrior warm-up, and this is just exactly the kind of thing I do myself when I sit down here at the drums every day to work out new material or prepare for gigs, or indeed when I sit down at the drums to sound check or rehearse when I'm out performing. I'm going to do this quite simply to begin with. This is going to be a single sticking pattern, and just for the sake of it, I'm using pattern number 14 from page 5 of the stick control book, which is just singles and doubles, as a great many of you will know. Right hand lead, like so. Nice and slow. And why slow? Let's talk about why I'm practicing slowly. Because what I'm trying to do is avoid reliance upon muscle memory. So I'm practicing slowly enough, and there's a video that talks about this a little bit that I did a few months ago called Talk to the Hands. You might want to look at that because it'll give you some additional background into what's going on here. I'm practicing slowly because I want to be really kind of conscious of not only which hand is moving next, you know, right, left, right, left, right, right, left, left, but also what parts of my grip are fulfilling which particular functions. Because, you know, your fingers are either holding, supporting the stick, or manipulating it. Sometimes they're doing both jobs at the same time, and that's constantly changing. You know, the different parts of your hand combine in all sorts of different ways. This is not something I've really gone into much on YouTube so far, but it is a core element of my approach to hand technique. And you know, if enough people are interested, I'll go into it a little bit more in greater detail. So it'll help you do certain things better. But staying slow, being aware of exactly what's going on in your hands at any given time. Now, a lot of people will say to you that this is bad practice. And you know, I don't tend to agree with that. They say, you know, you should be serving the music, you should be playing for the song and not thinking about specifics of your hand technique. Well, I tell you what, I can do both, and so can you, so can anybody. It's just a matter of conditioning your fine motor skills and connecting with the various parts of your hands to do all these jobs and really be in the moment with it. So we started on the snare. Let's introduce the small tom a little bit. I'm just going to be moving quite freely with some fairly simple motion to begin with. Okay, we already know that 2 sound sources gives us 1, 2, 3, 4 orchestration possibilities. And I'm moving freely between these 2 sound sources, not relying on pre-learned patterns, because you know, pre-learned patterns have their use, but there's plenty of other stuff out there about pre-learned patterns, and that's you know, that's not my specialist area. So let's just look at that again and see what's happening. So moving away from the snare to the tom, gradually. So I'm using 3 different types of motion. Parallel motion, where the hands are moving in the same direction. Contrary motion, where the hands are moving in opposite directions. And oblique motion, where one hand moves and the other hand rests. And I've got this up to a point where I can actually process it as I'm doing it. I don't have to learn stuff and just kind of trot out internalized ideas that I've come up with on the drums. I've hit a point, and you can do it too. It's really easy to get there. All that you need is just for somebody to tell you about it. where I'm completely free in what I'm playing. And also something else has happened as I progressed with these tom moves. So I was centering on the snare to begin with, like we all do, too much of the time. But by the time I got to here, I'm kind of centering on the tom, and you can do that anywhere you like around the drums. It's all part of this ongoing quest to have equal facility, whatever part of the drum set you happen to be playing on at any given time. So let's move a bit more freely between the snare and both the toms, start to incorporate the cymbals. And again, slowly, 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 think about which hand is going to play next. Think about what sound source you're going to next. Think about what part of your technique you are using to make the single strokes and double strokes. Again, sticking is constant. Still staying with stick control pattern number 14. Everything that I've played up until now has just been that. There's been no variation. So let's be a bit more free now with that improvisation of orchestration. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you can spend a lot of time just taking one sticking pattern, completely rinsing it out, and not running out of different ways of distributing your patterns between the drums and cymbals. And this is genuine improvisation. And why do I practice this way? Because that's what I need when I'm playing. The kind of work that I do, 99% these days is all jazz music that involves a greater or lesser degree of improvisation, depending upon the repertoire involved and the context and the size of the band and all those other things that bear upon that. So I practice the things that I want to be doing well when I'm playing music with other people. And it's everything from the mechanics, the technique, and even the mindset, thinking about the freedom to improvise as we go. Now let's try this another way. We're going to jettison our sticking pattern and we're going to move away from continuous subdivision, and I'm going to use a 1 bar 16th note based rhythmic pattern, and it's this: 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, I was improvising the sticking there, hence playing slowly so I can think which hand's going to play next. And I was putting in accents freely as well. Now let's take our rhythm pattern and move it freely around the drums. 1, 2, 3. So we've brought in another layer of improvisation. Okay, we've got a fixed rhythm, but the sticking is completely free. And you can use any combination of singles, doubles, or multiples over that rhythm pattern as you see fit. Again, this is all stuff that's in the current book that I have available, which I will just show you. goes into this in full detail. You can get physical copies or digital downloads from this website address. So that's my warrior warm-up, and that's how I start my day when I sit down to practice. And again, I can't stress too highly that the reason I'm doing this is because this is the area of my playing that I want to improve, that I want to have absolutely match fit when it comes time to play. And so that's what I work on, practicing with context, working on stuff that you need that will add value and quality to your playing. So enjoy the warm-up. You'll find your own take on it. Once again, these things, everybody who does this stuff of mine all comes out sounding different, which is great. So I'll see you next time. Take care for now.